Hey there, Paranormal Amino fans, and welcome to this special video. I'm your host, Jess. For the first time ever, Paranormal Amino and Grimm's Frightmares have come together to bring you 6 tales of terror. These stories were carefully chosen by the Paranormal Amino team to make your heart race and send chills down your spine. What follows are the first 3 of our tales, read by myself and Joshua D. Maley of Grimm's Frightmares. Be sure to stick around after these stories to learn how you can listen to the other 3. Now, make sure those lights are out and the doors are locked. Our terrifying journey is about to begin. What I'm about to tell you is a true experience that happened to me a while ago. It was my first time ever seeing something paranormal related, and it was what actually made me a believer. Let's go back to where it all started, where all those fairies and that old lady who never liked me were. You know who you are. Anyways, to Riverwalk Apartments. If I'm remembering right, I was 7 or 8 when it happened. I was young and can't remember much from then, but that day was vividly imprinted into my mind. I'm surprised I even know what happened. If you know me, then you know I'm a forgetful person. Back to the story. I was just heading to get a juice box from my parents' closet when I heard a noise in the bathroom. It kind of sounded as if someone moved the shower curtain, and I assumed a cat was in there. I don't know why the juice boxes were in the closets, so don't ask. So, thinking a cat was in there, I went in and searched the entire bathroom. As you can guess, I didn't find anything. No one was in there. Nothing was out of place. I didn't even think twice of it. I was one naive little 7 or 8-year-old. You would think that I'd be wondering what made that noise, but nope. I just wanted my juice box. I got out, shut the door, and froze. I didn't even have a chance to move. I was so close to getting my juice box. The closet was right there. It would only take a few steps and I'd have my precious, but she had to appear. Perfect timing. In the reflection of the doorknob was this girl. I say girl, but she looked years older than me. She could have been around 16 or 17. All I was paying attention to was her. The girl was wearing this white dress. It reminded me of a Victorian nightgown. It was dirty and had some holes scattered in different areas. Her hair was matted with leaves and twigs and grass. I can't really describe how she looked. I could see that she had brown hair and really pale skin. It was a sickly pale. Her face, though, I couldn't see her face. It's as if there was nothing there. She was looking straight at me, but her eyes, nose, and mouth weren't visible. As soon as she was there, she disappeared. All it took was me blinking and she was gone. That wasn't the last time I saw her, though. I've had a few more run-ins with her, but her age has changed. She can be 17 one day, and the next time I see her, she looks 6 or 7. Maybe it's a different girl I see, who knows? Her outfit also tends to change. For instance, her nightgown was really dirty the first time I saw her, but other times it's a clean white dress. It just confuses me sometimes. What I did learn from this experience was that I never enjoyed my juice again. It was such a beautiful drink, but now it's tainted. I'll always remember you, Juicy. R.I.P. Juicy Box. From wherever my parents bought you, the last time I enjoyed you. Okay, so I gave birth to my daughter 4 months ago. This is important, so stay with me. I've always had a sort of sixth sense, but I always tried to brush off anything that would happen to me. It's also important to know I live with my parents and share a room with my younger sister. So about 3 weeks after I gave birth, My daughter and I were in bed fast asleep. Around 3:30 in the morning, I felt something standing behind me. I wake up, still groggy, and I roll over expecting to see my sister. Of course, I turn over and nothing. My sister is still fast asleep in her own bed. So I roll back over and snuggle up with my daughter. My body refuses to go back to sleep, and I feel the sensation of being watched creep back over me. This time, I jolt up in bed, sitting up and letting my eyes adjust to the dark. My gaze stops in the far right corner of the room. That's when I notice it. It stood behind my sister's dresser, its hair covering its face like the girl from The Ring. Well, as it stands there, I feel its eyes burning into me. Mind you, it's just a large black mass. Thankfully, I break contact and manage to lay back down and go to sleep. Well, around 1.5 to 2 months after birth, my daughter is really fussy and I can't calm her. My parents and I stayed up until midnight trying to put her to sleep. Once asleep, I lay her in bed and curl up next to her. Within 10 minutes of being asleep, my daughter wakes up screaming bloody murder. I try everything I can think of to calm her again, but it's all for naught. I changed her 3 times, got up and walked with her, sang to her, fed her again, and nothing worked. I spent 3 hours doing this. During one attempt of trying to lay her back down, I happened to look around and noticed the same black mass as before. This time, it was closer. It stood next to the head of my sister's bed, which is across from mine. I brush it off as nothing, thinking it was only my sister as I was half asleep. My sister finally gets tired of my daughter crying and runs out to get our mother. My mother confirmed the worst. The black mass I saw was real and wasn't just my sister. Whatever it was angry and was tormenting my daughter for those 3 hours. My mother ended up shooing us out of the room and cleansed it. Thankfully, after that, we were all able to sleep. Haven't seen any sort of black mass since. Thankfully.
I was always told my curiosity would land me in trouble someday. Did I ever listen? Of course not. I'm curious by nature and love the adventures I went on and the mysteries I discovered because of it. If there's something mysterious going on, I'm going to go up and explore it. I guess I should have taken the warnings more seriously. I should have learned when not to be curious. And this is where our story begins. It started as a normal Friday. Thankfully, I had gotten the day off of work, which meant I had, for the first time in weeks, some time to myself to read, draw, and relax. I swear, being an investigative reporter is not as exciting as movies make it out to be. I was walking to the sunroom where I keep my weapons of relaxation. A weird name, I know, but, kind of weird. The room also has the best lighting, thanks to its glass walls and roof. I'm getting off topic, sorry. It was on my short journey to the sunroom that I noticed something odd. Something that piqued my interest. It was a door. I know what you're thinking. What's so odd about a door? Well, this door wasn't in my hallway yesterday. I just stood there, frozen to the spot, staring at this door. There's nothing special looking about the door. It was dark wood, oak or something, with splinters sticking out. A basic door. There was something kind of eerie about it. I was going to ignore it until it made a sound. Rather, whatever was behind it made a sound. Curiosity mode kicked into high gear. It was kind of a low growl, like a wild animal hunting its prey. I needed to know what was on the other side. Was it a bad idea? Most likely. Did I care? Not really. Slowly, I reached for the door handle and noticed that despite the warm weather, this thing was cold as ice. Now, if it had been a steel or a metal handle or something, that would have kind of made sense, but this was one of those diamond-looking doorknobs that you see in fancy mansions. That probably should have been the first warning sign, but I pressed on, refusing to give up. Thank you, stubbornness. As the door quietly creaked open, the smell of blood and rotting flesh invaded my senses. I'm an investigative reporter, so I've been around death more times than I'd care to admit, and I would know that smell anywhere. Now, that would be where most people slam the door shut, ring the cops, and hide. Not me. No, I'm the one in the horror films that goes searching for the psychopath. So I ventured into what appeared to be a stairway leading down to what I presumed was another room. A dull light barely illuminated the way, but that didn't stop me. I carefully made my way down the wooden steps, using the walls on either side to help guide my way. A warm substance under my fingers stopped me in my tracks. Screwing my eyes shut, I took a few deep breaths and forced myself to keep going. It's just gross slime, I told myself. Can't turn back now. There was something down there, and I was going to find out what it was. And I was almost at the point where I could see who was down there without being caught. A gap between the wall and the stairs caught my attention, and I quietly made my way to it. The smell got stronger, and I felt my stomach beginning to turn. I should have turned back. I shouldn't have gone in there in the first place. Looking through the gap, I noticed that there were 3 figures in the center of the room, and one in the corner, mostly covered by the shadows, yet their eyes still pierced the darkness, sapphire and crimson. It was mesmerizing yet haunting at the same time. The 3 men that I could see were arguing over something, a half-devoured corpse. I felt my stomach lurch at the sight, but tried to remain quiet. My eyes kept going back to the figure in the shadows. They were coming forward into the light. At first glance, you could say he was handsome. If you looked again, though, you'd see crimson blood dripping like rubies from sharpened canines and black markings that adorned his skin. I felt strangely drawn to him, like he was a forbidden fruit, sinfully tempting. His voice was low and sent a chill down my spine.
Will you idiots quiet your senseless arguing and go fetch our curious kitten from the staircase?
He looked in my direction, smirking as the fear coursing through my veins turned my blood to ice.
I see you, kitten. Come play with us,
he purred. My body froze. I couldn't tear my gaze away. Before I could snap out of the trance, 3 sets of hands were gripping my fear-ridden form and pulling me down the stairs. One thought ran through my mind. I'm going to die.
Don't you know curiosity killed the cat?
The 4 of them laughed. I looked to the mangled corpse on the ground and decided I wouldn't let that become me. No, I refused to die in this hole with these creatures. A smirk crossed my lips, and I received looks of confusion. Only simple minds believe that's true. Curiosity, in fact, saved the cat. They remained silent for a moment, and released their grip on my arms and waist, huddling together to discuss it. Morons, I thought to myself. I used their momentary distraction to get out of there. I ran up the steps, but I heard them come after me.
Come back here, kitten.
They were closer than I originally anticipated, but the door was just within my reach. I could practically feel their breath on my neck, and my legs grew tired. The stairs weren't this long when I came down. With one final burst of energy, I fell through the door and kicked it shut just before those things caught me. I was grinning like an idiot, feeling a sense of pride for escaping. A feeling that would soon fade. Those events were a mere week ago, and now I fear my time has come. The door has begun to bend and creak, and strange black symbols now decorate it. A hear their voices yelling in the night. I'm sitting in the sunroom, just waiting. There's no point in fighting. I know I won't win. These men aren't human. I accept my fate now. The door is open, and I can see them coming with sinister grins etched into their faces. I guess they were right. Curiosity did kill the cat.
Did you survive all 3 stories? Then you might just be ready for the second part of this creepy collaboration. Head over to the Grimm Scary Tales YouTube page listed below to hear the second part of the Paranormal Amino / Grimm's Frightmares team up, and make sure you subscribe to both the Paranormal Amino channel and Grimm Scary Tales so you don't miss a pulse-pounding second of our stories. Stay scary.